What's going on, everybody? Very quick video for you today because I wanted to deliver a little bit more information on the e-bike hitch carrier from Himiway. Now, I already did a review video on this hitch carrier and I'll link that in the description below, but there are a couple more pieces of information I was hoping to put out, and that is number one, how do you install it in your vehicle? And then number two is, what's it look like going down the road and actually using it? So we're going to do both of those things today. And just as a reminder, this rack goes for $399 on their website. That's the current pricing, and it holds two Himiway cruisers. The weight capacity of the rack is 145 pounds, so it holds two cruisers or one escape bike, or I guess whatever combination of bikes you have that are less than 145 pounds. So let's get started. So step one is to grab your rack. It weighs about 44 pounds, so it's not that heavy, but it can be a little awkward to get it balanced in your hands correctly. Once you get it lined up though, it slides right into the trailer hitch, nice and easy, and it's meant to fit 2-inch receivers. Next, grab the supplied hitch bolt and the washers and install the washers. Now this bolt's going to go into the hole on the side of your trailer hitch all the way through the rack and poke out the other side. Now the hole on the bar coming from the rack has threads in it, and this is a threaded bolt, so you're going to want to thread this the whole way in until it's hand tight. Next, grab your ratchet and a 24mm socket. Tighten down the hitch bolt nice and snug. This will help ensure that the rack is secured in the hitch and also help with the rack stability. Try not to over tighten though. If you don't have a 24mm socket, a crescent wrench will work just fine. The supplied hitch pin installs on the other end of the bolt. This ensures that if the bolt should ever loosen up, the hitch pin will prevent it from sliding completely out. The Himiway rack has a tilting mechanism allowing the rack to be placed in 3 different positions. It can be tilted all the way down, it can be positioned straight out for hauling bikes, or it can be positioned fully up and folded out of the way when not in use. To ensure the tilting mechanism remains in the desired position when traveling, install the square wire lock pin through the mechanism. Time to load up your cruiser bikes. I usually start with the bike that's going to be closest to the vehicle first, allowing the front wheel to drop down into the plastic wheel chock, then lifting up the back of the bike and placing it into the holder that holds the rear wheel in place. The front wheel is secured with the telescoping bar that clamps down over top, and the rear wheel is secured with the rubber strap that goes through the spokes, over top of the wheel, and down through the ratcheting system. Repeat the same process for bike number 2. Do a little wheelie and drop the front wheel down inside the plastic wheel chock, then lift up the back end of the bike and place the rear wheel into the rear wheel holder. The telescoping bar will clamp down on the front wheel, holding that securely in place, while the rear wheel is secured with the rubber strap that goes through the spokes, over top of the wheel, and down through the ratcheting system. All right, we got both bikes loaded and ready to go. I will say that the bike on the inside, closest to the tailgate, is a little bit harder to load because you have the bar coming out from the trailer hitch that's kind of in your way. Dropping that front wheel down in the wheel chock, pulling it, doing a wheelie, dropping it down in, that seems to be the easiest way to load these bikes. It takes the stress off your back a little bit. And they are held in place by the wheels. So you've got this hook bar that comes up over top of the front wheel, and then you've got the back wheel that rests in this little cradle here, and there's a rubber strap that comes through and ratchets down. So each wheel is held in place. Now, I know a lot of other bike racks will have a bar here in the middle that clamps down on the crossbar, but what do you do when you have a step-through bike? There's no crossbar here to clamp down onto. So this rack kind of solves that issue. You can carry a step-through bike on it. All right, now as far as stability goes, you can see that they kind of wiggle in the rack, but both wheels are locked down in place. So I don't feel like this is going to pop out of here at all. I mean, if this bothers you, you could always just put maybe a ratchet strap over here to just really clamp it down and keep it from wiggling. But I don't really feel like this is going to fly off there at all. But let's go take it for a ride and see how it does. Well, here I am driving through a parking lot. It's a dirt and gravel road. I wanted to find a bumpy road that had some potholes and dips and uneven surface so I could get some good footage of how much this rack shakes the bikes as you're driving down uneven road. And as you can see, the rack kind of tilts side to side and makes the bikes sway back and forth. And then up here I hit a good dip where we can see the bikes get a good bounce, but they stay on there. Now as you're driving down the smooth pavement, of course there's little to no movement in them at all, and I make this turn here and hit some railroad tracks, and you'll see the bikes get a nice good bounce, but again, they don't fly out of here. It holds them in well. I mean, they do move around and shake back and forth, and I think at this point I'd be less concerned about the bikes falling out of the rack and maybe more concerned about just how much they're wiggling and are they hitting into each other. And you might want to, I guess, ratchet strap them down a little bit tighter so they're not rubbing against each other and destroying your paint. All right, I just rode around with these Himiway bikes for like 30 minutes trying to shake them loose, and I couldn't. And I was searching for rough road, dips, potholes, railroad tracks, anything I could to try to bounce these things off of here. I'm sure that would have been an exciting video had they flown off, but they didn't. They're going nowhere. They're on here. What I can tell you is, you know, as you're going down the road, if it's really, really rough road, they're gonna wiggle back and forth. They're gonna shake. They're gonna bounce a little bit, but they are not gonna fly off of here. I mean, if you've got them attached and locked in there with both wheels properly, yeah, it holds them. It holds them good on there. If the wiggling bothers you, like I said, you could probably put like a ratchet strap on there or something, but yeah, it works. So this arm is still, you know, locked securely on the front wheel, and you've got your back wheel attached with this kind of ratcheting strap thing here, and that's locked in place. I mean, nothing wiggled out of position. It's still exactly how I put it on there. So the mechanism didn't move at all. You got that pin in there securing it. So if you're looking for a way to transport your two Himiway cruisers on a trip or on vacation, then give this rack a look and see if it meets your needs or not. I will link it in the description below. Feel free to put any questions you've got in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer those. And I think that's all for today. So thanks for watching.